we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Sohail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. It's so weird. My mic is right over here, but you can't see it because of this effect. So it's kind of freaking me out. It's like over there. Oh, look at your mic right there. How's it going, Toddy?
It's cloaked.
Oh, you sound so much better with your mic like that close to you.
How do you do?
Oh my gosh, it's like ASMR. Like, it's so good. It's like joy.
Lower decks, lower decks, lower decks.
Do you remember when the way you first used to say it, people thought you were saying something else? Specifically, Hubbard's girlfriend thought you were saying something else.
No, that was never the truth. I would never say something that inappropriate.
You didn't. You were saying lower decks, but
That's very true. I did.
In your thicker audio, your thicker accent.
My thicker accent.
Before you controlled it to sound more universal.
Yeah, I Americanized, I think, my accent a little bit.
You changed. You changed it.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Life is
so
wonderful.
Excited.
I've caught up with the lower decks, so how can one not be happy?
You're all complete.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to find out what you think. Let's do the episode summary.
It was ass. 0 out of 10 in the stream.
I don't like how my teeth keep disappearing.
Your teeth are so white. Your teeth are so clean they don't even register. It's incredible.
It's outrageous. Outrageous.
I would rather see the real you with your teeth disappearing than the fake you that couldn't figure out how to laugh properly. I didn't like him.
Look, now it's just my regular background. There, I can bring the mic close.
I am
disillusioned. Can I please, Jill's in the audience, can I please borrow a Junker battleship? No reason. Hey, Cake is Eternal. Welcome. Also, anyone else in the audience, if you'd like to chat with us on YouTube, we have a live chat running. I believe there's one running on X as well. So if you actually watch,
you actually call it X. That's incredible.
Oh, I do still call it Twitter, but I don't know what happened, what came over me. Yeah. Oh, yay. Thanks. Cake is Eternal says that my hair looks great. Actually, it is my hair, but it's not real hair because it is mine technically, right? Like
you own it.
I do own it.
It is your object.
It is my object. Toddy, you said you were going to do the episode summary.
Bullshit. I said that. Did I?
I feel like you did. Am I making that up? I might be making that up. I think
Maybe.
I'm making that up.
I think you're making it up. I think you need to do it because it is technically kind of the same episode as the previous one.
Is it? That's not true.
It's part 2. No, it's now the conclusion, is what it is.
It is the conclusion. All right. Well, anyways, we got like that kind of big bombshell dropped on us last week that it's Nick Locarno who's been behind all these shenanigans this season with the ship that we thought was at first destroying other ships, and then we find out that it's actually just capturing them. And so we find out we get a neat flashback to the Academy before the events of First Duty, and we get to see just this little moment, Baby Mariner, like worshiping.
Baby Mariner, come on, like first year Mariner.
First year Mariner, yeah, it's Baby Mariner. Worshipping Cedo Jaxa, and we got to see what was the name of the character that died, who we never actually got to see until this episode, which is pretty cool. Wesley's friend. What are you doing?
I don't know. They like the timeline's background, so boom.
Oh, I like Teddy's timeline background.
Boom.
I see what you're saying. By the way, are you gonna update it again?
I think we might have to at some point. Yeah, we'll update it every year. So I think there.
it hasn't been a year.
No, but I think there's we can't see it here because it doesn't fit. But the Discovery has an ending now, I guess, right? It ends.
That's true.
And I don't know if we have the Picard ending on this one. I forgot. Oh, yes, we do. Here we go. But yeah.
Anyways, after the flashback of Mariner kind of witnessing the events before the incident. We come back to the future and we find out that Nick Locarno this whole time has been butthurt and sore about getting dismissed from Starfleet. So, like any narcissistic,
Yeah, he didn't take it
maniacal
too well, did
person,
he?
he
He's
didn't
not
take
very
it too well.
mature in his reactions, I find.
Exactly. So he decides to create Nova Fleet. It's his whole identity is Nova, like Nova everything, Nova Squad, Nova Fleet, Nova, Nova One, I think is the name of his ship. And
It's branding. You gotta get your branding right.
it's true. It's already it's boring and white, no carpet. But anyways, he takes Mariner and he's like, okay, great. Like he thinks he rescued her,
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious. And he's like, okay, great. We're gonna, you're a rebel, Mariner. I've read your file, so you're totally right in line with what I want to do. So we're gonna address Starfleet, and you're gonna help me recruit more Starfleet personnel. And so he goes on and does this broadcast, and brilliantly, Mariner, he asks like Mariner to do her bit, and she's brilliantly, she's like, "This guy sucks,"
Boo!
like, boo, and she like informs everyone of his plan, steals the MIDI Genesis device, gets in a freaking steam runner class, right? Those are the steam runners, and then like bolts. And then there's this like awesome chase scene through the solar system that he's apparently
I love the Steam Runner
protecting.
class. I love it so much. You know my old Star Trek Unity project that never came to light, the thing I sent you the pilot about? The
Yes.
ship that they give my captain is like a retrofit Steam Runner. So it was like one of those ships that I think people thought it was ugly, like the fandom thought it was ugly when it first made its appearance. And I think they, from what I understand, I think they were kind of like thrown together as like ships for like background shots in whatever fight. I don't know if it was like in First Contact or in something else, but anyway, um, I love that ship, and I thought I could give it some new life and retrofit it. So yeah.
Do you have that one? The model? Is there a
Oh
model for
yeah.
that
I
ship?
don't
Do
have
you
it.
have it?
I have it
Oh, like
somewhere. It's in a
you have it
box
somewhere. It's
somewhere,
not
but I have it.
accessible.
It was one of the. I was like, I'm gonna buy this one, and because no one really likes it, I was like, so cool. Let's get it.
Awesome. Well, anyway, she steals the steam runner class and heads off to try to escape and get away. In the meantime, the Cerritos has been asked to stand down, and so is um, Admiral Mariner, uh, from trying to get Beckett back or doing anything, because they're like, oh, this was like, it's like a sensitive situation, because there's so many lower deckers from different our different kind of adversaries that we don't want to like stir up trouble or whatever. But then Captain Freeman's like, I don't care, I'm gonna go get my daughter. So she goes rogue, and they're trying to come up with a way to like rescue her basically. And when they realize they can't get through that Trinar shield, that's when Tendy's like, well, I've got an idea. So then so then we go off on the side quest to Orion to get a hold of a battle cruiser, an Orion battle cruiser. But they have to go through all these challenges with that because De'Erica doesn't necessarily want to give anything to the Federation. So they have a what is it, a combat, like a decision by combat or whatever. and, and so they have this like gigantic warrior named Baeth go up against Dr. Miglimo. And at first I was like, what the heck? And it turns out Baeth is extremely allergic, like Starfleet. So hell, I would not survive with Dr. Miglimo either if he fluffed his down.
Yeah, it's all about the fluffing.
It's all the fluffing. I wouldn't be able to, with all my allergies. I would go down as well. But unfortunately, Baeth falls right on top of Miglimo, therefore winning the winning the competition anyways. So then De'Erica wins the
Yeah,
Cerritos.
barter by combat. I think it what it is
Barter
what
by
it.
combat, that's what it was.
It's
And
so
then
cool.
yeah, so
More
she wins.
Orion lore. I love it.
She wins the Cerritos, but then Tendi can't let that happen, so she offers herself, but gets Derica to agree to give them a battleship. But Derica gives them a rundown battleship that's not even functional. Anyways, Mariner's running around through these like ice steroids. Is that what they would be called? Like, I guess, and she's outwitting her enemies, and then she realizes, okay, she's not gonna be able to get away for too long, so she's gonna detonate the mini Genesis. So she finds an uninhabited planet in the system, and heads for there. But on the way to that, they run into an ion storm, and Locarno, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. So you're gonna take over for me. What happens in the ion?
He's just disappearing. What happens in the ion storm? Your boy Lacano is looking for Beckett Mariner in the ion storm in this, I guess, Wrath of Khan-esque kind of like nebula thing. That's what's going on in the ion storm.
A
And I don't
direct
know.
homage. It was a direct homage
Well,
to
because you got the top-down
Wrath of
view and
Khan.
everything. So I don't know if you want to throw yourself on this immediately, but there's like a Genesis device plot happening. Because Beckett Mariner has stolen the Genesis device, right?
Yeah.
That she's
You
calling
you weren't
GD.
listening to my summary, obviously, because I was talking about that as well. So,
No, but
if I didn't have these terrible allergies, I would have just.
I'm okay. It's because I'm excited to talk about something, but I don't know if okay. We'll talk about it in the discussion after.
Don't forget.
I have a
Don't forget.
theory. No,
Don't forget. Don't
no,
forget.
it's
Write
because
it
I have a
down.
theory
Write
about it.
it down. Anyways, so she decides to go ahead and detonate it after Locarno blasts her ship, and so then in the meantime, the Cerritos crew they can't repair this battleship, so they decide to tow it right into the shields, and they create a temporary hole in the shield, and Captain Freeman takes her captain's yacht, which is pretty badass looking, by the way. It looks kind of like that ship in Insurrection that Picard and Worf were flying when they were trying to rescue Data. But anyways, they get in, they get to Mariner on time to beam her off the steam runner just before the Genesis is going to detonate. But they can't get Locarno. He's too stubborn. He thinks he can disarm the bomb, which he does, by the way. But there's a paywall because it's a Ferengi. It's a Ferengi Genesis device, and we get this
So he's
beautiful.
good. He's technically like he's a good he's good at what he
He
does.
That's what he didn't expect the paywall. And so it explodes. We get a new Genesis planet. Mariner's rescued. All the lower deckers go back to their ships. They realize they were duped by Locarno. And everything's great, except at the very end, they're all celebrating, but we get a little damper on our celebration. Well, we get a little highlight, which is T'Lyn decides to stay, which is pretty cool, on the ship. But Tendi is now forced to go back to Orion. And that's it. That's the episode summary. 13 minutes, not so bad. Like 12 minutes, really. I had a lot of interruptions. What did you think of the episode? What did you think of the conclusion? What did you think of all the
Nick Lacano was not
things?
dead.
You
Okay,
don't think so?
nah. They were like, we named the planet Lacano as an homage, whatever. My boy's not dead. He got Genesis.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
think
that's true. That's a
I
good point.
think he's gonna come back. That's what I think. There you go.
I
That's
think
just
the potential's there for sure. You're
well,
absolutely
I think
right.
the door's open enough. Like this is Star Trek, right? The door's open enough, and maybe it works better on Vulcans than it does on humans. I don't know, but like I think he has enough spite in him to
Well, with Spock,
motivate him coming back.
they actually had his body that they put on the Genesis planet while the planet was still in its like
Mm.
matrix or whatever. So the body regenerated in a way. With Locarno, I would imagine he's atomized, like he's completely.
So maybe his DNA got
Maybe the
melded
planet's
into the
alive,
planet.
yeah,
Maybe the
which is what
planet,
the
just like
admiral,
in
right?
it's got into the galaxy. Maybe he's like Lacano, the living planet. You know what I mean? Just
There's
like
something
Ego.
children's novel about that, like Locarno, the living planet.
Lacano, the living planet. Call me
Locarno,
Nova Prime. We won't. It's Planet Lacano. It's not fair. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the episode a lot. I don't know if I like this one more or less than the previous one. I think they're pretty equal for me. They offer different things, and they have a different kind of conclusions and different kind of setups and what have you. But it was great. It was good fun. I mean, what else do you want? You know, there's like, I think it finds the right balance, because this is not the trash Discovery, but like, or even Picard, but some of the newer live action shows have a tendency of kind of going very overboard with the action. Not every season finale, but some of them have. And I feel like some of the older season finales, they found the right balance between really telling like characterful stories and action, and this was exactly that. Like, it gave me what I'm looking for in a season finale, and it gave me what I'm looking for in a Lower Deck season finale specifically as well. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, I liked it too. I remember at the time, you know, it was a complete surprise that it was Nick Locarno. Uh,
Okay, so you told me that some people guessed this in advance. How?
we don't think they really did. Like, we think they saw screeners and like were pretending to guess it.
I mean, I think your
Because it was
theory
really
crafting.
hard,
I
right?
think I think your
Yeah.
theory about that is correct. I don't, or it would be a wild guess. It would be like you're just throwing random ideas out and one of them happens to land. You know what I mean? But like, come on.
Yeah. I don't see how anyone could have come up with like Nick
Yeah,
Locarno. Like there's not really a lot of clues. Especially now I've watched this whole series with you, and I could tell you it was a pretty well guarded thing. So yeah, if anyone said that they figured it out, it's very I would be hard pressed to believe
because
it.
there was no, like,
Like,
there was,
only if Fathery says, if Fathery had figured it out. I can't remember if he had, but I don't think he had.
but there were
But
no
that's the only
clues,
person
right?
I might believe. There were no clues that I could tell.
Like,
Yeah.
if the ship had been specifically named like Nova Squad 1, you know what I mean? Like something like that, maybe it would be like, oh, okay, hold on. But
The
like,
only weird kind of clue, I guess, would be is that Mariner did talk about Ensign Cito before we found out Locarno was involved. But like it wouldn't even count as a clue because it's like it was related to like her overall angst, right? But it is interesting that she did just talk about Cito Jaxa and then ends up being, Nick Locarno, I guess.
mm, no, I don't. I wouldn't have guessed it. Honestly, I could have. But it's really cool. I like them. I like it. I like that they brought him back and they gave him this kind of story. I mean, they made the jokes about Tom Paris, of course, which I very much enjoyed.
That was great. It was
Um,
it's like
it's like, does he look like Tom
Rutherford's like
Paris?
He's
No,
like,
I don't
I
see
don't
it.
see it.
He's like, but he has the exact same face. No, no, I don't. No, no, I don't see it.
And
It's
I
like,
love
yeah,
that
it's the
it's
same bloody
Boimler.
actor. Goddamn.
I, lo- I love that it's Boimler who doesn't see it because he's so like enamored of
Yeah, he's
Tom
so in
Paris. He's like,
love
no one else
with.
can look like Tom
No,
Paris.
no, I
Like,
wouldn't.
it's
No,
so
I don't
funny.
see it. But no, I guess it's a clever way because you can bring back multiple characters. Without having like so many actors to bring back. Like, use the actors that we know already want to come back to the show. And then of course we got your boy Wesley. You know
I
what I mean?
know. Will Wheaton. So now he's gotten to be on Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Lower Decks. Like, I think that's it, right? He hasn't been in Prodigy yet, and he won't be on Discovery.
Mm.
I can't wait for you to finish Discovery, by the way, because there's a character that I thought was going to be Wesley that ended up being someone else.
Okay.
Oh, see, that might
All right.
actually entice you. Oh, wow.
Ooh. Are there traveler related things going on in Discovery?
I don't know.
Ooh.
There was just something that I thought was going to be Wesley, but it ended up not
Okay.
being
Your
Wesley.
boy Wesley. He was in Picard, TNG, Lower Decks.
Yeah, he's no Michael Dorn. He's not like
No, he's not like
or
Jonathan
Jonathan
Frakes. Yeah, he's
Frakes,
not like
but he's been
every
in a
goddamn
few.
show in the existence of Star Trek. But he's hosting. He was hosting the After Trek for a while there, wasn't he? Or whatever it
He
was
still is.
called.
He's the show.
Oh, he still
Oh
is.
my god, you're so
Does that
terrible.
still exist? I don't know. I thought they canceled that.
The Ready Room. It's called the Ready Room.
The Ready
They,
Room. Oh, but that's
how do you? It's so embarrassing how out of touch you are with Star Trek. You thought the Ready Room was canceled?
I
It
didn't
was when
know
it
it was
was that
called the
other
Ready Room. I
guy.
thought it was After Trek.
That's after Trek was canceled.
I was right. After Trek was canceled. I got my
Yes.
information correct.
Yes, you were actually technically correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I do represent, I think, a majority of the fandom of Star Trek, though. Most people just, they watch the shows and they enjoy the shows for what they are, and then that's it. They don't, nitpick everything else. You know what I mean? Like all these different bonus shows. But maybe
Did you get excited during the flashback to the Academy / Baby Mariner scene? Like, was it cool?
Did I
to
get
see?
excited? No, not really. But no, I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was nice to see like the Nova gang, I guess, the squad. And I also liked the this is kind of weird, but I feel like we all do this. We all have like some distorted views or distorted memories of the past sometimes negatively and sometimes positively. But I think we push things to a certain exaggeration, and that's how we paint them in our minds because that's how they stay captured. And so I did enjoy the fact that like Lacano was like, well, you were basically like Nova Squad adjacent, right? Like you were
Oh,
with us.
he's just saying that to her
And she was like,
now.
yo, I talked to you
Like,
once. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like you barely acknowledged me. You were like,
He's that kind of opportunist person that like will say whatever he thinks will make you do what he wants in that moment, but he doesn't really care. Like, remember when she was first coming up to in the flashback, he says, "Oh, there's your big fan" or whatever. Like, he kind of teases Cito about how Mariner's like following her around or whatever, and kind of like looks down at her because she's like a freshman or whatever.
So I have a kind of a deep philosophical question about this character, right? Clearly, like he wasn't going down the right path when we meet him back in TNG because he's making wrong decisions, and then he doesn't even own up to that wrong decision. He really tries to cover it up, and he drags other people into it. He's like a bad influence and what have you.
His
So
solution is like, yeah, instead of just fessing up and telling the truth, his solution is to like bury it further, like get like like make
yeah,
every excuse,
yeah, and
blame it on
he's
the
making it
and
worse.
actually blame it on the dead guy. He blamed Josh, which is like even worse. Like he
How
blames it
dare
on the guy that
No,
I
it's
know.
dreadful. But then so
That's who I
basically
was trying to remember. That
he gets kicked out
yeah,
of the academy, and clearly this kind of I think it kind of solidifies the path down like in which he takes, but it also solidifies him as a character and his decisions. Do you think there could have been some sort of rehabilitation for this guy? Like, do you think someone could have taken him under their wing and really tried to help him and improved him, so to speak,
yeah. I
changed him,
feel
or
like
do
he
you
should have
think?
been sent to the New Zealand penal
Of
colony,
course,
and I think that
with
like
Tom Paris, of course, they would have been together in the penal colony. You know what I mean? Tom and Nick.
It's yeah, and I think someone like like a captain of a new starship that was going into like dangerous missions in with the
In the
Maquis should
Delta
have come in.
Quadrant.
Yeah, or with the Maquis should have come in and recruited him
Mm, mm, mm.
to, to work.
Well, that's what happened in the Mirror Universe. In the Mirror Universe, Tom Paris died, but Nick Locano got
Part
recruited
of
on Mirror Voyager.
onto the Voyager. Oh, that's a really good idea, by the way.
But
No, I
see,
do
it
believe.
was different though. Nick is really, really nice though. See what I mean?
No, I
But
do believe, as you know, 100% that the rehabilitation route is the best route. And
yeah,
I'm sorry, I interrupted your joke, but
no,
you're
it's
going to
fine.
tell another joke.
It's fine. I was just carrying on a useless path. But no, I'm more wondering, like, do you think that in a sense, like, the nature of his person, I guess, is such that he wasn't rehabilitatable.
Rehabilitatable.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Or
he. I think that yeah, like you have to want to
there was a
change,
degree,
or
like there's a degree of like evilness, I guess, to you, right?
I don't know that I don't know that I would consider him
Oh,
evil so
Commodore
much as
Trev is absolutely correct.
such as misguided.
Nick
What did Trev
Nick
say?
definitely would have been one of those people on the USS Equinox.
Oh, that's right. I know that episode. I
He's
remember
the guy that came up with the bloody plan.
that.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is actually where he he would
Like
tell
the
you.
Equinox is basically the mirror universe version of Voyager, anyway.
That's true. That was a
Uh,
good episode.
yeah,
Um,
Voyager slaps people.
I think he just Nick is so self-centered that I actually don't think he's ha- re rehabilitatable. I don't know I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I don't know if that's a
Now you've
real
got me
word,
like,
but
oh, I don't think he is. I think he's much like the sort of narcissistic personalities we see in our current day, world stage or media.
I wonder who you're referring to. I'm at a
there's
loss,
like
truly.
there's one specific person that
One,
could
aren't there like
be,
75
but
dreadful
there's
people running this
yeah,
planet at the moment?
there are a lot of other folks, but there's one person
Hmm.
that Nick I feel like reminds me of the
Ah, I
most.
see.
Oh, Father wants to know. Sorry if I missed it, but will there be an After Dark tonight or DS9 tomorrow? Thanks for asking on here, because we usually do the channel updates in the beginning, and I forgot to do them.
How
Yes,
dare you?
I have to talk about the
You're such a
Acolyte.
Nick.
So if anyone else is going to join me tonight and talk about the Acolyte, then we'll talk about that
The
on the After
Acolyte
Dark
is the
show.
that's the Star Wars show where everyone's freaking out because like a lady cut her hair. Is that the show?
It's interesting that that's what you know about
That's
it.
what came up on my Twitter feed. It
That's
was
so
like
interesting.
a lady and she cuts her hair and then I don't know, there's the debate
I
about
haven't
that.
seen that. I haven't seen that particular discourse. And then, Father, yes, there will be a Deep Space Nine discussion tomorrow. Tomorrow is Q dash less. So that's the one we're talking about. So thanks for asking, Father. And by the way, while we're at it, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, go to Text Track because they're going to do a discussion about the 3 things they want to see and then don't want to see on Star Trek Prodigy. So check that out. So
Have they made
Father, post the link if
a
you
not
got it.
safe for work version of Star Trek called Q-Tip, where it's gay porn but with twinks and Q?
We were just talking about this on the salon. Shout out to the salon, by the way. We were just talking about this on the salon after party last night. So stay tuned,
Ooh,
Toddy. Uh, Father, I was saying, post the link to your show, to tonight's show, Text Trek show. I think he's asking about that. Sometimes, by the way, this is an interactive show. We interact with the folks in the chat, so sometimes we stop talking about the
yeah, let's bring
episode.
it back. God damn it,
There's like
Mariner.
there's like 50
Okay,
people watching, so I don't know who you are. So
oh,
I don't want you to
50
get
people
confused.
watching. That's not true.
That's nice. Yeah, because we're
Really?
on X. Yeah, on YouTube we only have a few people, I think, but on X
Oh,
and
YouTube is
Facebook
so old. No
combined,
one cares about it anymore. I'm sorry. Um,
StreamYard shows you at the top right. Don't you see the number? You don't see it, do you? Oh, you don't see it. I see it because I'm the
I
one
don't have the
streaming, I
information.
guess.
50
All
people. That's
right,
incredible. High
back to
50
Locarno
people.
though, and what you were saying is
Mariner. I want to talk about Mariner. I'm very, very happy how this season and especially these last few episodes have progressed her story and her character. She's really like grown, but it's not so much about like moving forward. It is more about like addressing what was behind her, and I think that's really helped her. I guess her psyche is now in the present with her, if that makes sense. Like I really like that, and I think that this was kind of like a culmination of all that, and She was like in charge. You know what I mean? Um, and for her to like stand up against Nick Lucano and be like, no, this is stupid, this is bullshit, I don't like what you're trying to do, I disagree with it, I think is really like a statement on the behalf of like the show and the character, and I really like that.
100%. I was also very satisfied with Mariner's kind of like her letting go of her beef, if you will,
Mm.
with herself. Really, when you think about it, you know.
Well, yeah, I guess it was beef with like it's the death of a friend, right? That kind of initiated this whole thing. I don't want to rank up, but then I really like the idea, and this has been going on for multiple seasons. I'll give them that. I think since like maybe season 2, she's been saying this specific thing or something to the effect of, "I agree with Starfleet's idea and ideals. I don't necessarily agree with the execution of it." And I think like that's something that I can relate to on like many levels, about whether it be we talking politics, political people. Like I think politics, or just like the way the company I work for works. Sometimes you're like, I agree with what we're trying to do here, but the way we're going about it doesn't really work for me. And it's natural. It's not necessarily going to work or function for every person because every person is different, right? So I really like that idea, and I like that she's able to kind of like translate it into action here.
Yeah, like that the whole thing also that she says about Starfleet is imperfect, but at least they try to get it right, you know.
And then of course Tendi, and then also her Mariner's mother, Captain Freeman, has been kind of embodying that too in these recent episodes, where she's actually been pulling off some pretty cool moves and being able to like negotiate and talk with different species by using different tactics. You know what I mean? Like the way they were able to actually get like the Ferengi deal and all of that. It's like we're doing what Starfleet wants and what the Federation like wants, but we're finding different ways to kind of like maneuver our way into it. And of course, Tindy does that here because she just pulls the combat thing.
Yeah.
Bought by combat, yo.
Yeah, I think that like everyone was on fire for this season finale. Like pretty much everyone got something cool to do, and like they did a good job of like kind of bringing back certain elements from the season, like to Erica and like the Orions and all that good stuff. And the Trinars. Remember, I was trying to get you to remember in the beginning we were talking about the Vinar episode. I was obsessed with the Vinars. I was like, why is there only 3 of them over there? So I thought that was funny.
I really like the shield, like the big shield thing that Nick puts up, to stop people getting out and in. I
Mhm.
think it's so like from a visual perspective, I think it's great. It reminds us definitely of things that we've seen like in the original series. Um, I also liked how like when they crashed through it, it took down specific like triangles. You know what I mean? So I think it was very clever, like visually. Um, but also it's very telling of the character, like Nick Lucano, that he made it so you can't get in or out.
Mm.
So he's very like, we're all equal, no one's the boss, we're all in this together, but you can't leave. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. So yeah, no, I think that was very telling, and it was well put together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In other words, this guy just sucks.
He does.
This guy
Uh,
sucks. Like he's
he
like
does. Well, he's dead probably now.
What did you think of I thought the action in this episode was pretty awesome. Like everything from the Orion battleship being um thrown at the shield to like the whole steam runner chase through the ice and also through the ion storm. It was just like, I mean, it looked great in
Mm,
animation, and I was
mm,
thinking like, wow, all of this would work really well in live action too. Like, but it felt like a live action sequence, if that makes sense. Like, I
yeah.
kind of forgot for a moment that I was watching animated, and I was just like really like, I always enjoy animated anyways, but I forgot it was
Well, they
animation. Like, if that makes any
they
sense.
I'm not gonna say they hyper detail the ships, but they do take uh like there's a kind of different animation style being used for like ships and planets and space shots. It's not as, I guess, simplified as like when it's the characters on screen. So as soon as you get some of those like chases, all that kind of stuff, like with the clouds and everything, the nebula, it looks a lot more, I guess, realistic or less animated than when you're like indoors. So that probably helps a lot. But also, there's a lot of attention to detail, not only in like the way things are depicted on screen, but also in the way things are directed. They really direct the animation as if it was actual camera work that they were doing for like the live action shows or movies, because of course there's like direct references to Wrath of Khan here. So it really helps sell the idea that you're in like familiar territory, as in like not only the familiar universe, but also like that era of the universe. It's very well done. I loved it. I loved it
Nice.
all.
What'd you think of the Orion battle ship, the Retribution, and how huge it was and everything?
Looked a little spiky dildo-ish, but
I I was hoping I knew you were gonna say that.
he knows me so well. It
this
looked a
this
little
one
bit.
was more like a rough one, not a
It was
spiky one.
yeah. It wasn't quite.
It's like
The mold lines weren't as.
it's
But
not as spiky. It's not as spiky. It's more smooth.
yeah. Fair enough. Like it's. Anyway, no, it was no. I liked it. It was fun. It was nice seeing like an Orion design, I guess. And I like how the whole Orion thing tied into it. Like I understand why it is these four specific lower deckers that we're following. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, it just so happens that one of them is the daughter of the captain. It's also because these four lower deckers that we're following, they have like important stories to be told, and they participate in like pretty enormous ways in like the ship's functions and the ship's missions. And I like the whole Tendi thing.
Jill says I can't find the timelines of
Oh,
Star Trek
this thing.
poster online. Yeah. So the reason for
I'll
that
send
is
you a link.
because Toddy and our friend Gary from Trek on the Tube created that poster. It's a custom poster. I think you have a high res enough version of it on X or Twitter that you can print it because it's hanging in a museum in Germany, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
which is
Right?
pretty cool. It's pretty fucking cool. I'll tell you that.
Pretty cool, yeah. So you could probably take it to Kinko's, FedEx, and print it, Jill, when Toddy sends you the file. So super cool.
Well, I'll send you the link. Boom. Hopefully this link works.
There you go. pbs.twimig.com.media. Wow, what is all that?
I don't know. It's from X.
It does work because you are a
Oh, I'm a moderator or whatever it is.
you're a mod, yeah. So that does work. So everyone enjoy. That's a super high res version of
That's
it
the
too.
super high. That's like the biggest
Like,
resolution. You can click and save image, and then you'll have like a. So yeah, it's like 4096.
and just for those folks who are watching on Twitter, I'll post the link there as well. And I guess on Facebook, Toddy's map.
But then
Not map.
the current timeline, and the current updated timeline is always my pinned tweet or my pinned X anyway. So if you were to go to find me on Twitter, like you don't even need to scroll for it. It's like the pinned thing. Every time we update it always around like December, January, something like that. We put it there.
And I always have a controversial take about it where I'm always like, no, it should be this. And then you're like, no, we're going to publish it this way anyways.
Really? Publish it.
Remember?
Run it.
Remember, whatever you
It doesn't matter. He disagrees. We run it anyway. I don't know what you disagreed with last time. I think it was.
I forget. It was some
I'm Soldier Yor. Was that it?
I don't. I think it was. It might have been your. I don't know. I don't know what it
Some
was.
bullshit.
It
He's
was
always
some. Some
he keep
BS.
okay. He keeps us on our toes. It's good. You know what I mean? He's always like, because Trekkies,
Next time we have a disagreement,
Trekkies got that nitpick. You know what I mean? They
it's
always got to
true.
find that little thing. So if we can, if it runs by, Starfleet's to hell, and he's only got one thing to say, hey, that's pretty good.
Oh, look at that. The Salon Trek has referenced it a few times
Thank
from
you.
your pinned tweet. So there you go. Next time we have a disagreement about it, we can get together.
Yeah, I say,
I'd say,
we
Toddy.
must.
We must.
So you think my timeline isn't quite good enough, my dear friend?
I do think it's great. I actually think it's quite good enough. But I was so happy that we got one
Do
more.
better, Paramount.
I was so happy that we got one more reference to the Twin Twains before the season finished, because that's like literally one of my favorite things ever in Star Trek is Twin Twains.
Freeman's like, it works. Why does it
And
work?
Boimler's like, it's so beautiful.
I
Boimler had a
I
couple of
will
good things.
say
Like,
I had to kind of accept that they took the time to do that in such a it was like an urgent moment, but they were like, no,
I love
we
it.
gotta stop
They're
everything. We
arguing
gotta go to
about
the
how to
holodeck.
repair. They're arguing about how to repair the battle cruiser, and they're disagreeing. And then Talin's the one, which is brilliant. And I love that Billups was like, "Ooh, are you gonna do mind melding?" He was all excited about it, like it's like some kind of thing that
Ooh.
he's like wants like been wanting to do like forever. And then she's like, "No," and then we have the twin twins. I was like, "Yes."
So what do you think about Rutherford having this kind of nemesis of sorts?
What's his name again? The character. I
Vidic?
like it.
Vidic?
Livick.
Livik.
I think it's
Livik.
Livick. Yeah, I like it. I think it's great. It's like Jennifer, was
Or you think they're gonna
was
start dating at some point?
who knows? Anything can happen on Lower Decks. But
No, I'm sorry. I'm very bland, and I ship Rutherford and Tendi. I just want my Rutherford and my Tendi. I know that they're not there yet. They're exploring. They're trying to, they did the whole
it's
married
4 seasons.
couple thing.
They're not gonna hook up. It's not gonna happen.
No, but like, in about 10 years, when they make the show like a live action new Star Trek show, and the actors come back to play the live action versions of themselves, and both actors are older, then they'll be together at that point.
During Picard, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like during Picard season 1.
Mm.
Or they get blowed up on Mars. Who knows?
Okay. Well, how? Okay, screw you. I disagree with that statement. That's not canon.
Jill says Livich was still an ensign this episode. I thought I saw a second black pip. No, that was street corn for sure. That's whenever you see a wrong pip, it's street corn for sure.
Even if it's black?
Yeah, it's corn comes in different. Haven't you ever seen like some corn has like black or purple?
Oh, that's true. There's like the
red,
color,
like,
or it
yeah.
could be like one of the kernels, like one of the burnt things from popcorn.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm.
But anyways, so yeah, Livich, twin twain. That was lovely. I was so glad to get that.
Yeah, I like that. It was fun.
What else did we have to cover on this episode? I guess we talked about Planet Locarno. I guess overall predictions for season 5, which sadly is going to be at least on Paramount Plus, the last season of Star Trek Lower Decks. So yeah, predictions, final statements, ratings. Let's do it.
So
I can actually participate with the predictions.
Do we think that Tendi is going to spend most of the season away, or is it just going to be a couple of episode things and then she'll find her way back to the ship?
Well, that final expression where she's like, let's go, let's do this. The way her expression is in that scene, I'm feeling, Lower Decks has a tradition of making a big deal like with these like cliffhangers or whatever. and then it's resolved pretty like like quickly in the next season. So I predict
Mm,
she won't be gone as long as she won't be gone even as long as Boimler was
okay.
when he was on the Titan. I think she'll be back in like 2 episodes, 3 episodes max.
Mm,
That's my
okay.
prediction. What do you
Fair
guys
enough.
think, audience? Like, what do you guys think? This is the time to speculate about season
That would
5
make
where everyone
sense
can.
though, because like they I'm not gonna say they foreshadowed, but she did say I want to be like your science bestie, whatever it is they call, and it would be nice to actually see that. So
Yeah, it would be really nice to see that. Actually, that's true. But other than that, any
let me take
other?
a while to just thank the audience, um, because everyone's been so kind and respectful, and like no one's spoiled anything or said
That's true.
anything. But like this whole like, thank you
It's
so
been
much.
wonderful. I feel like that's
You
really
didn't
cool that
have to do
you.
that, and not every audience would have. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how it even like you didn't get spoiled by the internet or anything. It's kind of amazing.
I was really trying to stay away from, like, every time I started to see Lower Deck tweets or threads, I'd like shift away from it. You know what I mean? And find myself watching something else entirely. So yeah.
Oh, Jill wants to know what we think of why the Trinars go with the Romulans. Pretty dang sneaky. I
Mm,
that is pretty
mm.
sneaky. Were the Binars? They were kind of neutral, right? Like I feel like they're not necessarily a Federation like species, are they? I can't remember.
I don't know if the Federation members.
I don't know. That's a good question, but it was interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that there's going to be a subset of Binar culture called Trinars now. it's like it's like thruple. It's like similar to a thruple.
Romulans are are like a subset species, I guess, of like the Vulcans
Vulcans,
originally,
yeah. It's
technically.
weird.
So like, the Trinars, plus like the Romulans have no more remnants to boss around at this point because they didn't evacuate them.
The poor
No, that
Remans.
hasn't happened yet, technically.
The poor Remans.
That hasn't happened
Slot.
yet. As you can see, Lower Decks is here, and their supernovas here.
Oh,
So
look
it
at that.
hasn't
Hold on, I'm gonna
happened
put
yet.
you on full screen here. Hold on. I kind of
Wait,
think you need to.
I gotta handle
You
this.
can
Lower Decks,
you can do this like hold on, wait. Where is this thing? Why do
boom.
I put you on? There you are. Boom. All right. So
Yeah,
where's Lower Decks?
Lower Decks is here. See,
And the Romulan supernova is
is here.
here. Oh,
So
and
it
look
hasn't
where
happened
Prodigy
yet.
is.
Prodigy is just here. There we go. And then
How close in years
Lower
is
Decks
Prodigy?
starts like here. No, Discovery starts here, and then it goes all the way at the end of the world over there.
Where
But yeah,
this is great. We have to have you doing this for. Where is the Mars attacks on the timeline? Why isn't that on there?
it's not important enough.
If it's on 2 shows, will it be important?
That's not how it works. We just put the shows. We don't put the events because otherwise it'll be too cluttered.
Then why is the Romulan supernova on the timeline
Because it
if you don't put it
created
on?
an alternate timeline.
Oh, okay, fine. That's fine.
I disagree with that statement, on a personal level, like my personal headcanon thing. But as it's depicted and explained on screen, it is like the catalyst for it. So
Lower decks.
yeah,
Lower decks.
I
Lower decks.
I gotta say, the fact that a lot of people notice that the mirror universe starts diverging away, I'm happy that it is noticeable. I'm happy that people noticed it too. It's really cool.
Oh, like how what they described in Discovery
Yeah.
that it as you go into the future, it's like further
Mm-hmm.
away or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me see again. Hold on. Now I gotta put you back. Oh yeah,
See,
look at that.
see, because everything follows the same kind of curve here, and then this one's diverging away.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. We pay attention to details. It's the details, you see.
I love it. No, it's a lot. It's a passion project, and you can see all the passion that you put into it.
Yes.
So I guess any other predictions for next season? Like, do you think that
How can I predict Lower Decks?
Yeah, how can you?
What?
It's a really good point, actually,
So I guess the pack lids are finished. Like we've kind of moved away, we've moved on from the pack lids.
which I appreciate personally.
I'm okay with it. I thought maybe they would,
Yeah.
play a bigger role, but I think that's okay. They've played their part.
I was
Um,
hoping for the Breen to be a big deal, but we obviously you don't know.
the Breen
We know
are
why
the
they
Breen are a
were.
big deal in Deep Space Nine. Come on,
And Discovery season 5.
what? Oh my good, really?
Yeah.
Do they still have the like
Sorry,
the?
I didn't mean to
Did
spoil
they
it.
have the helmets?
I can't tell you anymore. That's how far behind you are on Discovery, by the way, because I feel like that's like
I mean,
episode
that's how
3.
far I am. I've only seen
Far
one
behind
episode.
you
Of
are.
course, I'm far behind.
Oh, I didn't realize you only have seen one episode. I thought it was. I was like, dang.
Yeah. Predictions for Lower Decks? I don't know. I would like to
How
see
about hopes and wishes for season
hopes and
5? Like,
wishes would be like an actual command position for Mariner. I think she's grown into it, and I think that she deserves it, and she can move on and up. I would also
with how good Captain Freeman has been doing and killing it, do you think she'll get promoted and Mariner will get
that
the
is something that
Cerritos?
I would like to see. Um, a season 5 of Lower Decks with, I'm not going to say no Captain Freeman, but it would be really cool to see her promoted to not like one of these second contact ships. She moves up, because she's like in the lower decks of captains. You know what I mean? On these second contact ships, it would be really cool to see her move away, and then maybe Ransom or someone else, so they bring in a new captain, and we have a new kind of dynamic with that. And then you could still have, like, of course, Captain Freeman be part of the show, but then she would be like talking to Mariner over the comms, and they would have like, because now that I feel like they have a better relationship going on, I think they have a healthy relationship, so that would be really cool. Like you could have some mother daughter moments over the comm.
I I think thinking about it even more, I don't think Mariner could become captain of the Cerritos in season 5. They didn't know the show was going to end, so I don't think they wrote that.
No, I
I think
wouldn't
they
have
just
Mariner become
yeah,
the captain. I would have
Mariner
someone else
captain. Someone
become the
else, yeah.
captain.
But
Someone
I would
else.
like to see Mariner. I would like to eventually see Mariner become captain of like maybe the Cerritos because it's her ship. It's kind of like how Riker. I was hoping Riker would be the captain of the next Enterprise. You know what I mean, like that kind of
Mm.
thing. Because it's similar to like how like the original Enterprise had like Robert April who knew Captain Pike who knew Captain Kirk. So it was like the three captains that were like the captains of the Enterprise all kind of like trained each
I
other,
think
like like are kind of like
technically
were
they only met like once or twice, Pike and Kirk.
no, well, more than that now because we've seen them
Yeah,
meet
but in the original
on.
series, they say something to like the effect of like, I've only
If you
met them in
watch that
passing.
episode, it actually the way he says it, if I'm not mistaken, he says something like, I'll have to go back and watch it again, but
Ah,
there's like leeway. There's like a way there's
okay.
a way that it works.
There's
Like I
canon
forget what
bendability.
there is indeed. Cake
Mm.
says it would be nice to see Freeman and her husband together bickering about Mariner more. That's true. I'd like to see them do lovey stuff. I don't. Well, I mean, not like explicit lovey stuff. Just be more
Oh, okay.
lovey already.
I was like, okay, like hot damn,
I,
hot
I don't
damn.
want Freeman. I don't want Freeman to be kicked up to be administrative though. More creative problem solving on away missions like the inner fight. Yeah, that's true.
Mm. Mm.
Um, I don't know. I think like for
I
me, go ahead.
I think I would like to explore a bit more of Rutherford in the next season. I think that's something because I really like him, and I feel like this season we did a lot of kind of like Tendi exploring, I guess.
What would
Um,
happen if Rutherford and Talin start getting along really well, and then when Tendi comes back,
See,
like
okay, that was a
Rutherford
thought
and Talin are like besties,
in
and
that
like
final moment, when I was like, because she says keep the, I don't know, techno babble warm for me or whatever it is, take care of the things for me, and I was like, what if he does that but with T'Lyn, and they get along really well, and they're taking care of the thing. But I don't think the show would go that direction. I don't want there to be like either a love triangle or like an awkward kind of like uh anger thing. I like the relationship like kind of the way it is. So yeah. And Tillon's still a Vulcan. I mean, she might have a lot of sass for a Vulcan, and she's got these outbursts where she goes, hmm. But I mean, I think I don't think she'd be that rowdy to go off and have a fling with Rutherford or something. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, like Vulcans tend to. I mean, at least on Star Trek, Vulcans seem to sometimes want to shack up with their humans that annoy them. So you never know. Never know. I
I
think
would
that's
like to
something.
see more cameos, of course. But I always want to see Janeway in any context, so I would like to see Janeway.
Well, you're gonna see
Is it?
Janeway on Monday.
Mm, mm, mm. That's so cool.
Are you excited?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard you're gonna watch it with Mom on the tube.
Yeah, Mother on the Tube is here, so it'll probably be like a family experience. We're all gonna watch it together.
Especially because Voyager was like the show she
Oh yeah.
got you into Star Trek with, so it's kind of cool that that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, Voyager and TNG. We were watching both. I couldn't tell you which
Yeah,
episode I saw first, but of course, I don't know. I was younger, so I gravitated more towards Voyager. I felt like it was a younger show. It has like a younger vibe to it. TNG is more an
right.
adult kind of. It was like Voyager was the hot chocolate, and TNG is the tea.
TNG's the tea, Voyager's the hot chocolate. Then what make Deep Space
Deep Space Nine, ironically, is coffee black.
That should be Voyager.
I know, but it isn't. It's too fluffy. It's got marshmallows in it, Voyager. It's too kind. It's too
I think
kind.
Deep Space Nine is like straight whiskey with like
Maybe
very smoky whiskey
on the
poured over
rocks.
ice cream.
Poured over
No,
ice
poured.
cream.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
No,
delicious.
no,
Like a
no.
whiskey sauce,
It's a
like
very
a whiskey
strong whiskey, but
reduction,
it's got like, mm,
a whiskey caramel reduction poured over ice cream. That's Deep Space Nine.
okay.
Joanne agrees though. Joanne's like Deep Space Nine is coffee.
Absolutely coffee. Yeah.
Jill says
And
DS9 is beer.
okay, but Deep Space Nine is. I think Deep Space Nine is strong coffee, but it's in like a Pride mug because
Oh,
it's got a bit of gay sprinkled into it.
it's a Ractigino.
It's a
Ractigino for sure.
Ractigino. That's
There
right.
you go. That's what it actually is. There you go. Solved. Problem solved.
Boom.
Go back to the
Klingon
source
coffee.
material. We go back to the source
That's what it
material for the
is.
answers. Well, I really enjoyed watching this season with you, my friend, especially because it's been a long time since you and I have streamed together. We kind of like did this whole series just you and I together. It's like old
I
times. It was
know.
very cute.
I was like trying to invite people, and then it didn't happen.
No, I know. I was talking to
Screw
the
you,
same people.
people.
They're busy.
No, I'm
They're
kidding.
those people are busy, but it's okay because it's just you and I. Like that's all we need,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I was telling Mike McMahon didn't want to come on. I mean, it's okay, whatever.
If Mike McMahon came on, I would have just made you make it show and stayed quiet because that would have been like
How
an
terrible!
on.
What a horrible person!
I
Just to let
know.
me do it.
I just well, you've already interviewed a bunch of people. Any plans to bring Trek Chat back?
Alex Kurtzman, he was like, "Look, I don't want to, ruin your spotlight. Don't worry about it. You just handle the show. It's fine."
Do you have any plans to bring Trek Chat back? Trek Talk, not Trek Chat, Trek Talk.
No, it is Trek Chat.
Oh, Trek Chat.
No, not at the moment. But it's not dead. Eventually, it'll come back.
All right, good.
Eventually, come back.
But yeah, I was just saying it's been super fun. I really appreciate you making the time to do this. Our audience has really enjoyed it. Look, Cake is Eternal's already saying this was fun.
Thank you so much,
Very much
everyone.
for doing it, Sean and Sohail. Yeah, no, thank you. And we'll
I
be
know
back.
that you'll show up for like the Starfleet Sahel, the captain of this vessel, but it's always a joy to pop on and be the, I guess, the first officer for a while, the temporary first officer. But are we gonna keep doing this for Prodigy? We said we keep doing this for Prodigy, right?
Yeah, so the plan is we're going to do weekly Star Trek Prodigy discussions, but it's very important that since Netflix, the way Netflix works is that first 20, and Mick Jost, our friend Mick Jost, has been posting about this on X and Twitter and other places probably, but that first 28 days is like the most important for Netflix. So what I'm going to do is a couple of things. We're going to do these like 1 hour format discussions of Star Trek Prodigy, 5 o'clock, right? Toddy, that time still works for you?
Yes.
Fridays at 5. So
Yeah,
tune
that's
in
good.
Fridays at 5. It'll be a QIF extravaganza because then after this, you'll have a deep dive on Tech Trek. So it'll be a lot of
Yeah,
fun,
we
lots
ain't
of
deeping
Prodigy
and
stuff.
diving. You know what I
But we'll
mean?
be, we'll be presenting some pretty cool observations, I'm sure. But I'm also going to do a daily non-spoiler reaction video on all the socials, like one of the just like a personal video. And I would encourage you to do it too, Toddy,
I
actually,
think I
like you
should do
used
that.
to.
I used to do
Yeah.
those little Twitter short videos where it was like a non-spoiler reaction. The first
Yeah.
response.
Those first responses. Exactly. So we'll be
And I
doing
think
those. Yeah.
I think Aaron Walke liked those actually. He
Yeah,
enjoyed
maybe.
them. So you know what? I might do that. I might do that and get some Star Trek Prodigy hashtags on the go.
Let's do it because we have to really get folks to watch in that first 28 days. It's so crucial to get that season 3 green
Mm.
light. So
Like, who gives
as
a
many
fuck
times.
about Squid Game? Come on.
Yeah, come on.
What?
We want Star Trek Prodigy
Star Trek
season 3.
Prodigy. What is Squid Game
Yes,
like?
exactly.
Is that gonna withstand the test of time? In like
No, but Star Trek
500
Prodigy
years,
will.
will people be like, oh, Squid? No, they'll be like Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's it.
So daily, so you guys can expect daily social media posts about Star Trek Prodigy episode. I'm going to do one a day for 20 days, which fits in that 28-day thing. So hopefully people will watch, and I encourage you to do the same, Toddy, on your socials and anyone else, reacting and doing non-spoilery stuff.
I'll be
And
talking about
then
it. I'll be talking about it as the weeks go by, and I think that keeping the discussions to like once a week is really cool. Like even if we do end up maybe watching more in advance, I think that
which we will. I'm going to binge the whole thing, of course. But
keeping the
yeah,
discussions to like once a week is really cool. It'll give us time to like chat, and I guess we'll tease each other beforehand. You know what I mean?
precisely. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So uh that's going to be really awesome. Really excited for that. So let's rate this episode 10 out of 10.
Oh my
I'm
god!
actually
What? That's
11.
incredible.
11
Oh my
out of 10.
goodness! It's so surprising.
What about you? What do you give it? What do you give it?
7.
Nice.
Solid 7 out of 10.
I think you should give it an 8.
Okay,
You
well
should
now
bump it
you're
up
just
to an 8.
pressuring me. See, this is peer pressure.
I'm just saying, I feel like this
What did
was.
I give the previous one?
I think you give it a 7.
Well, there you go. So it makes sense that this one's a 7, right? I'll give it a 7.5 because
Fine. I'll
I'm
take
being
it.
peer pressured, but not too much. I only take half the peer pressure. How about that?
I'm raising my rating up to 15 so that the average rating of this episode
Oh my god.
is a 10. So 10 out of 10 average rating for this episode.
There we go. It makes sense, clearly.
If you have a spare screen in Netflix, just leave it running 20 episodes a day for 20. Yes. Great idea. Autoplay. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Toddy, what do you got going on that you want to promote or tell folks about, other than we just tell folks about our Prodigy plans?
That's
But
it.
other than that, that's
I
it.
am
That's all we
promoting
got.
your face.
Go back and watch Toddy's always promoting your face. Go back and watch Toddy's older content. It's still pretty relevant. There's a lot of cool videos about species. If you're new to Star Trek, actually,
Yeah.
Toddy's channel is a really great place to start as a new to Star Trek kind of person. So
yeah.
check it out.
You can of course find a lot more details and get a lot more like nitty gritty with it if you dive into like Memory Alpha or other places. But of course my videos are kind of like short, 10-minute things where it's just like this is the species. This is kind of like the gist of the species, or this is the gist of this concept in Star Trek. So it helps because Star Trek can be overwhelming, and so can Trekkies. They're a good bunch, but they're a bit crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? So
Trekkies can be overwhelming, but I will tell you this, knock on wood, so far they're not as overwhelming as the Star Wars fans.
I agree.
All right, folks, thank you so much.
I
Live
think
long and prosper.
Star Wars fans have become somewhat like they are very synonymous of like the US political views. Like everyone's kind of torn up and they have like everyone's become extremists in Star Wars. It's strange. No?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of
It's
I
weird.
like it.
Every time I
I
read
mainly
something about
see
Star
Star
Wars
Trek
now,
in my
it's completely out of whack. It's
yeah.
like it's
I'm
it's
just glad
it's
that
a
those
story about people whacking themselves with glowy sticks. Come on, calm down. You know what I mean?
I'm glad that those commentators that we shall not say their names on here have moved on from Star Trek to Star Wars, frankly. Like I love Star Wars too, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to get Star Trek to not to not have those people commenting on our shows for a while. Like they're over there now, so like let them be there.
I thought they were gone actually. If you're referring to people
They're
that I'm
gone
thinking
from
of,
they're
I
gone from my timeline, but
well, there you
yeah,
go. So, like,
they're around.
basically, if you don't talk about Star Trek, I forget about your existence. How about that?
It's funny. Yes, Jill, you can get that poster printed.
Yeah,
So
you can
yes.
actually. It's it really works. Yeah, it's very high quality, and yeah, there's a museum
Germany.
in Germany that has it printed out. It's massive. It's huge.
All right. See you tonight on the After Dark program, possibly, and then see you tomorrow for
Me.
Deep Space Nine. Not you. I'm talking to the
Okay.
audience now.
Okay. I was
All
like, what
right.
the hell? What's going on? Come on. Come on.
Live long and prosper, and we will see you next.